Good morning. Full house today. Holy cow. Oh, man. Good morning to everyone joining us online. I wish I could say it's good to see you. I can't see. All I see is kind of Russ up there helping us out. So welcome. Welcome to the 2020 Fall Assembly. I can't tell you how excited I am to be here. You know, after being virtual for so long, it's just great to be in front of people. I don't care how far you are away from me. It's just fun to be talking to people face to face now. So I say we get started, and there's so much to say about what's happened to our nation, our state, our school over the last 6 months. There's not even enough time to compress this into an hour presentation, nor am I going to try. Okay? But we have experienced so many challenges at our institution. We have worked so hard at trying to chase down something that is so nebulous and so hard to chase down and understand, and we still don't understand. Let alone all the other activities going on in our society today. I don't know what we're going to look back in 2020 for these last 6 months. When our fall assembly, we had a little bit of liberty taken with assembly. We had a beautiful, one of the most beautiful buildings in our Texas A&M system that we didn't get the grand open, but we will. We have a sports season in the fall that is still a bit up for grabs. We have a graduation ceremony that looked like nothing else. But we may be onto something that maybe we did it wrong all along in the first place. We have a way of communicating now in meetings where the most uttered word in the meeting over the last 6 months has been, hey, you're still on mute, right? And then we have a group of our students that may have finally found their voice on campus. And so we find ourselves here today, very uncertain times. You've heard me say this before. The only certain about this is the uncertainty. And maybe at this time it's best to invoke the spirit of Professor Mayo. When back in 1889, he was the only one that had the foresight and was able to predict where we would be in 2020. When we take a look at our university seal, emblazoned with the credo of Mayo, it is so spot on to where we are today. Ceaseless industry, fearless investigation, unfettered thought, and social distancing. Mayo had it right back in 1889, right? So, we proceed into the uncertain, and we try to normalize whatever we possibly can in this semester, and I think we're ready to do that job as a university. So let's go. New faces, new people, new positions across our campus. This is kind of a lengthy list, even though we've been in this hiatus kind of state for a while. First of all, I never had a chance to introduce new faculty. And I hope there's some of these folks that are watching today. Welcome. Some of these folks are new from institutions. Some are ad interims that we were lucky to grab and keep here and retain here. The best and brightest here. Faculty, thank you so much. New faculty, thank you so much for being a part of our institution. The heart and soul and the academic instruction is what we do. So thank you. Thank you for coming to A&M Commerce. And then new staff. I can't tell you how, and again, I got to stop this because I'm going to sound like a broken record. Every turn, I feel the need to thank people. Okay, I was ready to say thank you because you're joining the list of people on our campus that did so much for this campus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'll hold that off till the end. But I would say, new staff, you do indeed join an elite group of people on our campus that make this campus go. So again, thank you for coming to A&M Commerce. New administrative positions. I think in the spring assembly, the COVID VP was not at that time, right? She came on right when the COVID hit. Okay, Nichelle Bonds, new VP for enrollment management, came to us from Missouri State, and the last 6 months is doing a bang-up job for the university. Nichelle, we can't tell you how much we're happy to have you here as our VP for enrollment management. I'd also like to acknowledge a new hire, Tina Livingston, taking over as Vice President for Finance and Administration. I've worked with Tina for a couple weeks now. Tina's doing a great job. Thank you so much, Tina, for joining us. Judy Sackfield, Interim VP for Student Success and Dean of Students, is heading up our student affairs, heading up our success teams, which we'll talk a little bit about later. Judy, thank you so much for your service to the university. Kimberly McLeod, Dean, College of Education and Human Services. To say that Kimberly is outgoing, friendly, would be an understatement. At every turn, she's trying to recruit people, brings a new energy to that college and to the ranks of the administrative council. Kimberly, we are super excited about having you here at our university. And Kimberly also has made recent appointments of Dr. Araujo and Dr. Hayes as assistant deans within the College of Education and Human Services. Two excellent choices, two individuals that are going to support her and support the faculty and staff in that college and continue to move it forward. Mario Hayek, interim dean, College of Business. Another great guy, another pistol that's in there, shaking things up, making changes, truly exhibiting, showing his stripes of being this entrepreneurial type of individual that is looking for opportunity after opportunity within that college. Jeremy Gamez, interim chief information officer, a critical hire at this university, especially in light of the pandemic and this transition back and forth between online and so forth, and developing the technologies necessary to carry off instruction at the highest quality possible. Erica Contreras, chief budget officer, another great selection. Erica, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for your service to the university. Again, just a couple, even fewer weeks in, I can tell you we found a winner here in Erica. Our student body president, Leslie Yeager, who will unfortunately only be here for a semester, getting her master's, I think in criminal justice, Bill, I think in sociology. So Leslie, we've had a number of orientation sessions with Leslie and had interaction. I saw her and witnessed her interacting with students. What a joy to be around. What a great ambassador for the university. And she'll be sorely missed in the spring. Dr. Ballinger, incoming faculty Senate president. I can't tell you how much we're looking forward to working with Dr. Ballinger. Dr. Ballinger, this is going to sound a little, is a smart cookie that knows higher ed and knows what needs to get done to advance the advocacy and the academic excellence at the university. So Dr. Ballinger, thank you so much for joining us today. We really look forward to working with you this coming year in this very different year. And this strapping young fellow here, who is now the chairman, incoming chairman of our A&M Commerce Foundation Board of Directors, Mick Trusty, a well-known face at our university. Mick represents one of those alums that has been there at every turn for the university, whether it's a need the university has, whether it's philanthropic or a student event that we need some seasoned expertise to help our students for a particular initiative. Mick has always been there for the university. I can't tell you how great it is to have Mick fill this position in our board of directors. Michael Lamb, the new president of the Alumni Association. It pains me to say it, but I actually like working with Michael Lamb. And I know Michael's out here because he just texted me, so my phone's going to blow up over there. I think I put it on mute, but all kidding aside, Michael, it's great to have you on board. I've loved the discussions we've had together about how we advance the Alumni Association and how to better utilize not only the Alumni Board, but the Alumni Network in East Texas and across the nation. So thank you. Thank you for agreeing to take on this important position. I'd like to just take a couple moments to acknowledge a couple folks. Stephen Starnes, professor of chemistry, has served as our faculty Senate president for the last 2 years. And Provost Humphreys, I would expect you would agree with this, that Stephen has done an absolute outstanding job, keeping us on our toes, constant communication, a tremendous advocate for our faculty. Dr. Ballinger has big shoes to fill. You're going to fill them easily, but he has big shoes to fill. And Stephen, if you're out there and you're in the audience, I can't tell, thank you so much for your service. I can't tell you what a joy it was to work with you. And every turn we had where we needed the faculty senate president there, it seems Stephen was there all the time, John, all the time. So thank you. Can you help me give Stephen Starnes a hand? Thank you, Stephen. A special thanks also goes to Mona Gilly, Staff Council President. I thought I saw Mona walk in. How you doing, Mona? I could say the exact same things about Mona. What a tremendous advocate for the staff, professional staff around our campus, is constantly pushing that envelope, trying to make things better, trying to make things flow smoothly, and really serving as a voice, a point of contact for the staff. I enjoyed our regular meetings, Mona, and you're going to be missed. But we'll see you around. But thank you very much. Can you help me thank Mona Gilly? Thank you. A special thanks also goes to Leonard Merrill, outgoing president or chairman of the foundation board. Leonard has been another advocate, a fantastic chairman, but I would also like to say he's been a great friend for me and the university, and has always stepped up and is always asking, what can we do? What can I do? What can the board do to better the university? What a great ally to have in that position. He will be stepping away, but if you're listening, Leonard, we're not going to let you go. We're going to keep in touch with you because we need you as we continue on at the university. So thank you very much. Can you help me thank Mr. Leonard Merrill for his service? I wanted to throw this in here. I didn't know where to put it, but I could not put Eva Lee Vance Carter in this presentation. Notice the birth date of Eva, Quinlan resident, just turned 100 years old. Had a big celebration in Quinlan, a big parade for Eva. We wanted her here today, but of course, because of certain restrictions, we couldn't make that happen. But as you can see by the picture and talking to the family, still a great ambassador for our university, 100 years old. And I don't know if Kimberly's listening, but maybe if we can do a little recruiting, maybe there's a master's in this somewhere that we can get Eva interested in. So thanks you so much for everything you do. And I hope when all this, we get to meet you and get you on campus and have you meet our students and our faculty when all this pandemic clears. So, and then just one last note. I don't have a slide on this one, but I'm going to ask a favor. We have a very important person that's leaving the university at the end of this month, and that's Alicia Curran. And she is going to have an event today from 2 to 4, I believe, in BA 290. 2 to 4 in BA 290. I don't know of a person that's done more for this university than Alicia Curran over the last couple decades. And I'll make every effort to be there. Please do everything you can. Alicia, there you are. Thank you so much for your service to the university. I know it's tough for you, but it's tough for us too. So thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, let's go. Keep on moving along here. Announcements. I want to take a second. It seems to me that we are working so hard and trying to get information out, the latest and greatest information out on the pandemic and the health and safety of our campus. That is job one on our campus this fall. And for this year, it always is, regardless. The health and safety of our students, faculty, and staff, while maintaining the academic and research excellence that we're known for. But you see the priority of that, okay? We have been working hard. Special kudos to Derek Prees and Sarah Baker, Brian McGinley, Eddie Picard, for all the work in the EOC to help move this along. It was not easy. It's easy to stand on the outside and say, well, how come you're not doing this, or why you're not doing that? When you hear all the uncertainty that goes on behind the scenes, and the CDC, and the Hunt County, and the state of Texas, the discussions with Derek and his group are, I don't know why we're not doing this. I don't know what we're doing for sure. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty that's going on, and they try to make the best and made the rhyme or reason of what's going on out there. And so we find ourselves, after a lot of work, putting together a reopen plan that is now being fully implemented for the fall semester. And that reopen plan can be found in the Stay Healthy Lions, a link in the Stay Healthy Lions website, on our website. So what we decided to do is put together a big plan, but then break out one-pagers that are kind of cheat sheets for the plan. And I don't want to go through this chart with you, but this is a chart that sort of breaks out information for students and parents that may be tweaked just a little bit about what we're doing for the reopen plan. We had to make sure that everyone knew that the foundational principle of reopening the campus is self-attesting to a certain number of things and self-monitoring. Personal responsibility is the core of opening the campus for this fall, okay? And if you go to the website, or you go to the reopen plan, or you go to the sheets or wherever that may be, it's a simple process. Before you were allowed to come back to work, and every day you have to take a 4-question test. Do you have COVID or suspected COVID? Have you been tested? Yes or no? Do you have any symptoms of COVID, cough, fever, and so forth? Have you been around anyone over the last 14 days that may have had COVID? And fourthly, have you traveled somewhere where you've come back from a place that mandated quarantine? Every day, you need to answer those 4 questions. And I'm looking at you collectively. You need to ask those 4 questions. If any of those questions is a yes, we don't want you to come to work. In fact, we want you to have a discussion with the EOC about what's going on. Okay? That's fundamentally that's the self-attestation is the fundamental core principle. We are telling parents and students that face masks, face coverings will be required in classrooms and in public spaces where you cannot social distance. Okay, we'll see how that goes, John. But we from the get-go, we kind of took this approach of the faculty member is the classroom manager. And what the faculty member, the instructor says goes in that classroom, especially in these times, okay? And we have worked so closely with our faculty to develop a suite of different types of course delivery, online, face-to-face, hybrid, with the ability to be flexible and go back and forth and switch back and forth if we need to. If something happens, we go totally online. If things back off a little bit, we can go to some kind of high flex or back to face-to-face. That flexibility, and the provost often says this, doing the best we can to deliver instruction is the goal for this semester. And I think our faculty are well prepared to do that. One other thing, and again, all this is in the reopen plan. I have to be careful here. This is not president to students, faculty, staff. This is kind of Mark to everyone. Think hard about getting your flu shot. And I'll leave it at that. I think the CDC, Derek, is recommending that people get flu shots this year to make sure that when we're still in the throes of this pandemic, that the flu doesn't sweep through and create a whole new immunocompromised group of people. Okay? So just give that some thought. And we're recommending that for our students also. Okay. Faculty and staff. All same kind of thing. Self-monitoring checklist, attesting to those 4 criteria, flu shots encouraged. The academic affairs side of the house made a decision from the get-go that we are going to leave the decision on how courses are going to be delivered up to the faculty, chairs, and deans, and then try to sort all that out. And I think that approach is paying off now. We do not want to put a faculty or an instructor in a classroom that doesn't want to be there, doesn't feel safe being there. Okay? We want to make sure that there's always options and flexible opportunities for our faculty to work and instructors to work. Okay? And then remote office, flexible hours, or staffing. Again, uncertainty is the name of the game right now. I can't tell you what's going to happen Monday. I can't tell you what's going to happen next Tuesday. Okay? But I want you to know that all the VPs, supervisors, up and down the ranks of the university, as you probably have caught wind by now, have been given the latitude to be able to make personnel decisions about remote reporting, remote work locations, and so forth. You all have to decide and work with your supervisor to figure out what works best for you, given the current conditions of the day and your current conditions. And we're going to continue to rely on that, and we're going to continue to work that through the semester. Okay? I told the executive team well back into March and April that it seemed like this university dealt a little bit in edicts coming down from the president. Thou shalt do this. That's way too broad a brush, right? Way too broad a brush. I want to delegate that authority to the VPs, to the deans, to the chairs, to the directors, whoever that may be, and you all have that discussion. You all have that discussion with your supervisor and your direct report, because every case is different, and every case is tricky, especially given the situation we're in now. Okay? There is a possibility that, you hear University of North Carolina, Notre Dame, and so forth, flipping the switch to go totally online. We are prepared to do that if necessary. Okay? May have its bumps and bruises along the way, but we are prepared to do that. I would say, if I could be show a little swagger here, that I think that if we flip the switch to online and things got better, I think we could flip it back to face-to-face and hybrid. I think our faculty are that talented. Our IT infrastructure is that robust that we're able to do that. And so we continue to keep a close eye. And when I say a close eye, the university has developed a series of metrics that we are closely monitoring and grading and so forth, that we are looking at to say, okay, if a certain number of these reach a critical stage, we may need to flip the switch, or we may need to take some type of action. And I believe we just sent an email out yesterday, Linda, listing this out to the listserv. But I want you to know that we are going to continue to meet daily on this and examine these metrics on a daily basis to see exactly where we are, to minimize any kind of risk as much as we can. Won't minimize all risk. To try to minimize as much risk as we can to our campus population. Okay. Points of distinction. We still had great things going on this campus. I feel like right now I'm kind of walking you through saying, oh, God, this is, oh, yeah, we got risk in this and things are bad and so forth. In spite of that, we got great things going on at our university since the beginning, and all this stuff has happened since January. First one, champs. Women's rodeo ended up number 1 in the nation. Coach White, great job. Women of the rodeo, great job. The men finished 22nd in the nation. What a tremendous recognition for all the hard work I know they put into that. And we had our first rodeo in hosted our first rodeo in Sulphur Springs this past year. We look forward to bigger and better things, and I didn't know the recruitment effort in rodeo was so cutthroat, like in Division II, Division I sports, and Damien's coming in and saying, okay, we got to get this recruit here, and no, we're going to try to steal this. Well, I'm not supposed to say that, I guess. But we're going to try to get this recruit over here. But a lot of work has been gone into this. So, Damien, great job. Our rodeo team, great job. Champs! This is our meat judging team from our College of Ag. Absolutely. Who won the championship at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And I got to be honest with you, they won a bunch of other stuff too, and I couldn't find all of it. So I just wanted to acknowledge these. But what a great team we have, and again, great ambassadors for our university here. And that Houston Livestock Show competition was actually an international competition. And so a lot of teams, and again, A&M Commerce, this team stepped up and won that championship. Congratulations. Okay, here's some numbers. Anyone recognize any of these numbers? That's not a very fair question. I'm being a little bit cute here, but that's okay. You know, we have had tremendous success in our athletic field of play over the last couple of years. And I always speak highly of our athletic department. I always speak highly of our coaches. I think our coaches are the heart and soul of our student athletes and their development professionally, personally, athletically. I can't tell you, all that makes me proud, but this makes me prouder, okay? There are other important numbers, like winning percentage. I think, the women's basketball team was, 152 or something like that? I don't even know what that number was, but it was some big number over there, okay? But I want you to walk through these numbers. And Tim, I think this is a affirmation of what you all are trying to do in athletics with the Thrower Center and so forth. And I made the decision not to show a lot of shiny pictures of gameplay and so forth, because this is what matters to me right here. And 3.3 is the cumulative GPA of all of our student athletes in the spring, an all-time high for this institution. Absolutely. 3.92 is the GPA, cumulative GPA of our women's golf team, okay, which had 4.0 students on the team. 3.15, the cumulative GPA of our football team in the spring. 54 4.0 students across the athletic landscape for our student athletes. Absolutely. And 232 presidential and department award winners, i.e. a GPA greater than 3.0. What a tremendous effort by our athletics department, our coaches, and our student athletes. Thank you so much for everything you do for our university. Okay, we continue to rock it in our College of Business on online offerings. BestSchools.org rated us as one national rating, as one of the top schools in online education and business analytics. And what makes this particularly amazing is that we just started business analytics a couple of years ago, 1 or 2 years ago. And we're already on the national scene and what we're doing as a university. Kudos to the College of Business. Kudos to Dean Hayek and all the faculty over there for the fine work. And there's many other programs that could be listed on this, and U.S. News and World Reports and the rest of this, but I just wanted to make sure we acknowledge the fine work going on in College of Business. We had our first graduates in our electrical engineering program. Charles Didier, and I'm going to mess up his other name, Craig Anderson. Yes, Craig Anderson. First 2 graduates in our EE program. That is a big coup for us. That program was put together as a request from L3 Harris. and I would venture to say other industries around in this area to start that pipeline of producing talented electrical engineers for the region. We have these first 2 graduated. That is not an easy lift. Thought I saw Dean Donham in here. That is not an easy lift. Congratulations to you, Dr. Donham, and congratulations to Dr. Graham, who I'm sure was at the steering wheel, driving this down and getting the necessary accreditation and so forth. This is a big deal, folks, at our university. Also, the first graduates of our nurse practitioner program, 5 graduates. We have assumed the mantle of being the health sciences nursing educator of East Texas. And we don't take that lightly. And this is just a sign of things to come here with all the deficiencies in healthcare and healthcare delivery in rural Northeast Texas and even urban Texas. I think we're going to find our niche here, and I think this is just the beginning of good things. So congratulations to our nursing folks. Rebecca Judd, Dr. Jones came to us and said, hey, we have this robot that can provide services, and there's a little picture of the robot in the lower right-hand corner that uses mobile technology that can be situated with someone in need, in quarantine. And this happened before the pandemic. And they actually developed this little robot, TAMU-C is the robot's name, that has an iPad for his or her head right there, and allows someone that may be in a nursing home or wherever that may, residential living, to be able to communicate and live day to day, even if restricted to their own rooms. And C.C. Gassner, VP for Research and Economic Development, jumped on this and said, let's develop more. Let's see if we can find our niche in this area. And I love the way things are progressing with Dr. Judd and Dr. Jones, and I expect to see great things. Here's an example of one of our strategic goals at our university aligned with the community, meeting the needs of the community. Here's a mobile platform that opens up a whole new world for people that may be restricted or isolated in a particular setting. Tremendous job. I just brought this up because, sometimes, you guys have heard me say this before, I'm not a big fan of giving ourselves awards, and everything I'm telling you right now is national recognition. Here's another example of national recognition. An author in a Forbes magazine, online magazine, that identifies the CBE program, Competency-Based Education Program at A&M Commerce, and identifies that and us as an innovative institution. A great kudo for Dr. VR, great kudo for all of College of Innovation and Design. So great job. 2 recent NSF awards. This is what, as an ex-VPR, this is what gets my blood boiling here. All right, let's go. Okay? Dr. Rodriguez and our folks in our computer science department just landed 2 big awards. This is good money, folks. This is good money coming into our university to do good things. We continue to work, we continue to write proposals and submit them and become national players. The NSF, you can't do any better than that. So congratulations to our CS folks and Dr. Rodriguez on this. So I think this was sometime in, this article came out in April or May, maybe May. And it was an article put up by Dallas Business Journal. They got it from someone else. And this group assessed how all these schools in North Texas did in response to the COVID virus, okay? And able to delivering a quality education experience to its students. And then ranked those schools into 5 different tiers. Tier 1 meaning you had the infrastructure and the expertise in your faculty in place to make a smooth transition and deliver a great experience for your students during a very pressing time. Tier 5 is, nice try, not a great job. Okay? You can see here A&M Commerce found itself in the top tier with 5 or 6 other schools. Absolutely. Again, I would attribute that to our faculty and our infrastructure and our stick-to-itness to make it happen and create the great experience for our students. What a nice acknowledgement that is for the university. Okay, let me shift gears. Got to keep on moving. I got so much to say, but I want to make sure I don't overstay my welcome here. I do want to touch briefly on a couple things here. First of all, the upcoming 87th legislature. You all know by now that we had to give a 5% give back in FY20. We just found out, I guess 2 days ago, that 5% will be permanent in the next biennium. Okay? But I think we took the appropriate steps to find that money and continue to move the university forward with minimizing the hurt that may come along with that. We do have a legislative agenda that we're working on right now and putting the finishing touches on. Paula, thank you so much for your work on this. That'll be submitted very soon. We're already starting outreach and phone calls to the legislators and pitching this idea. You see the agenda is let's ask for that 5% back. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's ask for that 5% back. We have a Institute of Competency-Based Education that has continued to be funded over the last several years. We're asking for a little bit more at $4 million over the biennium. We have a new project, the Texas Quail Restoration Initiative, with Kelly Reyna at the helm of that will investigate and do research in quail and restoring quail to habitat in Texas to help with hunting and economic development and so forth. And I thought, okay, let's give this a shot. It sounds good. It sounds exciting. It sounds a hot area that we're in. A lot of folks are embracing this, and I didn't know how many legislators were quail hunters. A lot of them are quail hunters. And so keep your fingers crossed that this may be a great project and may really stand a chance to be funded. At the end of the day, really what it is taking California quail from Idaho and populating them and have them sustained and live in Texas. So great project. And then finally, 2 TRB requests. The first one was on the docket last time, the Ag Education and Research Center. And the second one is the ADA, Safety and Infrastructure Upgrade. You would think that it's a long shot this year, but there's a little bit of talk in the hallways that TRB is all or nothing, and there's probably about all the institutions together have submitted a total of a lot of requests worth about $1.8 billion. But there's a lot of talk in the hallways about could that $1.8 billion be used as a stimulus package for Texas? Okay, so there's still, I feel for some reason, I can't tell you why, it's my gut, I feel a little more optimistic about the TRB this year than I did last go around. So Dean Harp, we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. Notes on the 2021 budget. So we went through these budget cuts. Every effort was made to preserve personnel. Every effort was made to preserve personnel. Now, we did have to make strategic cuts here or there, but that was solely based upon enrollment not supporting the need for that particular instruction or those particular courses. Okay, but it was very intentional, purposeful, and surgical. But we did everything we could to minimize impact to instruction. Okay? We had to draw some lines back, freeze some lines. Since then, some lines have been given back to support the coming fall semester. But we did everything we could and directed a lot of these cuts on the non-academic affairs side of the house and preserve as best we could the academic affairs side and preserve instruction. Okay? That's where we are now. Is there going to be another 5% cut? I don't know. We don't know that yet. We're holding tight until we find that out. We utilized a voluntary separation program for tenured faculty that those closer to retirement could opt out and take a package and get paid off for the year. We realized some salary savings there. That was really where the focus of the academic affairs cut came from. Through this entire process, we intentionally held, full disclosure, about $700,000 back because we felt like there was so much good stuff going on at this university. We have to reward our faculty and staff with merit, even if it's at a somewhat low level and these tough financial times. Okay? We have been asked by the Board of Regents to hold off on the merit. Okay? The Board of Regents met yesterday to talk about a number of different items, and they actually approved our operating budget for fiscal year 2021. Okay? They said now we have the go-ahead to go ahead and fund promotions and reclassifications, market adjustments, and equity adjustments. They're just telling us, please hold on that merit, any merit increase, until we can see where COVID takes us, until we can see where your enrollment is, until we see where the legislature finds if they're going to indeed come up with another 5% that we need to cut. Once we find that out, keep your fingers crossed. We want to get merit out to everyone who deserves that money. This is the latest and greatest enrollment update for fall 20. Okay? And you can look at all this. We can supply this too if you wanted to. 2 key numbers. Head count, student credit hours. Head count as of Wednesday, August 19th, we're 64 students ahead of this exact date last year. Okay? Head count a little bit behind from FY18. Okay? But 64 students ahead compared to last year. And the moneymaker, student credit hours, this moment in time compared to last year, we're up 4.5%. That is good. Okay? That is good. We hope that holds, but that is good. Okay? If you would have told me that this is where we'd be, if this is where we end up, I'll take it. Okay? There's a lot of schools struggling out there. I'll take this. We want more, but we'll take this. Okay? There's a lot of reasons why we have made so much progress and why we find ourselves positioned to hopefully come out of this and into the fall in good standing and good condition. I could attribute it to a lot of different factors, but one of the groups I have to acknowledge and give a shout out to are our newly formed success teams. The individuals on these success teams, in particular, the director of our concierge, Katrina Watkins, director of our academic advisors, Christina Nichols and Janine Gibson, and director of our success teams of special populations, Misty Lair, and everyone in that organization has stepped up so much in this. The retention efforts, that's where we're heading with this model. Nichelle, you worry about getting the students in here. Judy and the success teams, you worry about keeping them here. Okay? And they are doing yeoman's work on reaching out, contacting students. And I kind of like what I'm hearing. Talk about swagger, there's smack talking going back and forth between these success teams. I was saying, well, are we going to maybe get back to 18 levels? And they're like, yeah, we will. We'll do it. Let's go. Okay? We got to figure it out. I don't know if they will, but if we can get head and shoulders above FY19 headcount levels and so forth, it's all been worth it. So I can't tell you how happy, Judy, I thought I saw you out there, how happy we are, the campus is with the work and the output of these success teams. And continued good luck for the next couple weeks when we're really going to need to step on the gas and make that happen. I'd be remiss if I didn't point this out either. Also, master students, total doctorate, total graduates, up close to 6%. This other model that complements, a sister model to the success teams, the graduate enrollment specialists, headed up by Dean Schrader. I can't tell you what a tremendous job they have done. They have assumed the role of the cradle-to-grave graduate student services for our graduate students in terms of recruitment, admission, matriculation, progression towards degree. They assume that mantle, and they are working with our graduate students that may be coming back, that we're trying to recruit, bringing those students in. And what an outstanding, wonderful difference this chart is showing for our graduate numbers compared to last year. And again, a big thank you. I don't know if you're out there, Dr. Schrader and the graduate enrollment specialist, but thank you for everything you're doing for our university, and please keep up the good work. Okay, strategic plan. Every time during a talk, I like to go through a strategic plan. I do want to make this note, okay? I have asked the VPs, including the provost, that we need to get our individual unit strategic plans done by the end of this calendar year, if at all possible. We kind of turn the other way a little bit in the spring, knowing that a lot of groups have been working on it. A lot of groups have been working or made progress on their plans, but not quite there. We need to get our plans in place. Okay? And I think this is a great roadmap to help us do that. You look at our foundation principles. Again, it's always a healthy reminder to talk about our foundational principles being transformative, innovative, inclusive, sustainable. Okay? Our strategic priorities and goals. First, a couple assemblies ago, I talked a little bit about student preparedness. Last assembly, I talked an update about research, my vision for research. And the next one is create an inclusive community. I want to talk about that for a little bit. Okay? We have a lot of stuff going on. A lot of things happening in our country, happening in our state, even happening in our campus. Part of that 6-month period, we had 2 peaceful protests on our campus. Some unrest, some unknown, related to social justice and equity. Okay? I guess I have the question for you, campus, for this foundational principle of ensuring, or inclusiveness, ensuring a welcoming environment where all are respected. Are those going to be words on a paper, or are we going to live that? That's the challenge at hand. This is not, my intention was never to put those words down that check a box. We're not about checking boxes at A&M Commerce. We have it down on paper. It's for the public consumption. This is what we are committed to. That some groups, some people get better treatment than others, or some don't even know how to engage in the university is unacceptable. A welcoming community on our campus. And so, a number of months ago, the university had issued a statement on systemic racism. An excerpt from that statement says, "To our students, please know that we care and are standing with you during these troubled times. Your voices have been heard, and we will continue to engage in a dialogue with you to address and take action against any bias and injustice on our campus in whatever forms they may appear." This is one paragraph of maybe 5 paragraphs. But when I get a chance to talk to faculty, staff, students, particularly students, this take action doesn't sound like a box being checked. This is a commitment to take action, to make sure that people, places, and things on our campus represent inclusivity and represent a face where everyone is welcome and respected and acknowledged on our campus. So we've been working behind the scenes, and I commend the work of a lot of folks around campus, including our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee. And the leadership, Lavelle Hendricks, has provided that group. I want to talk to you about 3 distinct points of action that we are ready to go with. in this inclusive area. First, we are creating a cultural competency initiative, and this is a partnership between the DEI committee and CHESA. And at the end of the day, this is a establishment of an undergraduate certificate program at 12 credit hours, which the first one will be a signature course. Okay? We have to understand and acknowledge differences between people and celebrate those differences. Whether it's student-to-student interaction, whether it's faculty to staff, or faculty to student interaction. Okay? This will head us down that path. So not only do we have an educational 4-credit program for our students, we're also going to create training modules that are going to extract information from those courses. And I've asked the VPs, when those courses, those modules are ready, let's have your people trained up. Provost Humphreys, I'm interested in having Dr. Hendricks and Dr. Kurasina to have a discussion with you and Dr. Ballinger about, is there an opportunity, dare I say, require in some form or another, Dr. Ballinger, this type of training for our faculty? I'm getting a thumbs up. This is not punitive. I hope people don't think this is punitive. This is just common sense that we do something like this. We're here to serve our students. We're here to help each other. Okay? We have made so much. Give great kudos to the campus. I really feel like we've made so much progress in this whole civility initiative. And if I'm just talking to you, over a beer or just talking, okay, how we went about doing it with Carnegie and so forth, okay, it was good. But at least it brought the light. Let's keep a keen eye on how we treat each other. And I think we really made some progress on that. And I want Lavelle to continue to work on civility, but I want him to ramp up this effort. That's always been the intent, is to ramp up this effort also. Okay? Next one, a little more controversial. Given everything that's going on in this world, and I've been holding off on this for quite a while, because I am not about administrative bloat. And I do believe there's going to be some people saying, what? What is this? Where'd you find that money? Okay. I think more than ever, we have to again, not check the box, but how do we create the infrastructure, the personnel infrastructure, to make sure that we create an inclusive environment, from top to bottom, from bottom to top. And I need someone 24/7 on that job. And so I'm pitching for a vice president for inclusion to be hired at our university. And I've asked Nichelle Bonds to put together, to chair a committee to start us down that road. So many other schools have created chief diversity officers, associate VPs for diversity, equity, and inclusion. But they're kind of in their own little area. And when there's hiring going on, there's firing going on, when there's course development going on, I'm having a little bit of fun with this, but I always see these other schools, these diversity officers saying, okay, how do I get in there? I'm just chirping at you. I'm chirping at you. I want us to institutionalize inclusivity at our university. Okay? And this is going to lead us forward in doing that. You're going to find out more information about this as time progresses. 2 points of action. Cultural Competency Initiative, VP for Inclusion, or whatever that name ends up being. Placeholder for now. People, places, things. Let's talk a little bit about places. This university has had a tremendous past. Great leaders, great faculty. Came a long way to where we are today. But we still deal with a past that has remnants of a past that doesn't reflect who we are as an institution right now. It reflects the past, but it doesn't reflect who we are, who our student body is, what the demographics of our student body is, and where we want to go. I cannot imagine being a student of color, driving into campus, knowing that the front door to the university, a lake, or a library, a center point of learning, may not reflect the same values the university has, and actually may send a message that, a person of color would not have been welcome here on campus. That does not sound like an inclusive environment to me. I think action needs to be taken, and actually I'm pleased to announce that action was taken, that yesterday, and I wrote it down in my notes, at 5:43, the Board of Regents approved the naming of the library and the lake on our campus. And so I'd like to unveil what the naming will be, and we will be able to hopefully have some kind of ceremony to make this happen. It won't be soon, because I want to do it right. And another aspect of this is that even though the thrust of this effort of renaming the library and the lake is founded in inclusiveness, it's enabled by philanthropy, where we've had up to 10 donors come together and give generously to create an endowment that supports that renaming. But more importantly than the renaming, sets in motion a committee infrastructure that will take the revenue from this endowment and for long-term create a sustainable effort to study, to reward, scholarships, social justice, whatever that may be. Okay. Thank you for the donors that have put up their treasure to make this happen. I'm pleased to announce that the library will now be called, at some time officially in the near future, the Velma K. Waters Library. Absolutely. There is a long story of Velma K. Waters, and I know I'm going long here, so I'm going to make it quick. Ms. Waters was our first African-American undergraduate who was admitted to ETSU in 1964. Velma applied a number of times before 1964, but the university was not ready to let her in. And the history books show, Bill, help me out here. History books show that Velma didn't have behavioral problems. She didn't have preparation problems. She didn't lack smarts. She went on to go get 2 masters from SFA after she left here. But I think the history books show that she didn't look like other students at ET at that time. Okay. She graduated with a BS in home economics in 1968 and worked as a school teacher until retired in Carthage, Texas. A pioneer, an innovator, a risk taker, entrepreneur. The story that I get from our alumni office is so impressive and inspirational of the trials and tribulations this woman had to go through to get her degree from our institution. I can't think of a better person to name our centerpiece of learning at our institution than Velma Waters. The lake, I'd like to announce a lake, Charles S. Garvin Lake. Charles Garvin was our first graduate student and actually admitted before Velma, the summer before Velma was admitted in the fall of 1964. He graduated with an MS in elementary school administration, worked in Picton, became the principal of a school in Royce City. A very storied past, someone that again reflects the values, the pillars, the goals, the objectives of what we're trying to accomplish at 8 a.m. Commerce. Okay. As you can imagine, there'll be much more to come here as we proceed. Okay. Okay, Linda, this totally breaks protocol. What's that called when you do the wall, the third wall or something like that? But I'm doing it anyway. What time is it?
10 o'clock.
Oh man, okay. We got to go. New initiatives for 2020. Stay healthy. That's the number one initiative. Stay healthy. Anything that we can do, Derek Shaw can do to help you stay healthy, please do. 2, communication and transparency. Okay? We're going to continue to ramp up communication, transparency. We have made the decision, and you can go to Stay Healthy Lines right now to see the daily, I think semi-daily, maybe every other day, I don't know what the update is, the number of COVID cases on campus, off campus of our personnel. That's another example of how we're going to continue letting you know what's going on our campus. 3, ISD outreach and partnerships. We've done a lot of work in this area. I think that's attributed to some of our growth at our university. We're going to continue that, and it's going to be very strategic. Number 4, enroll the class of 2025 as soon as possible. We want to start locking kids in right now for fall of 21. No financial aid packages being sent out in April of 2021. Right now, let's lock these kids in for our next class. A lot of work has to be done in that area. Okay? Michelle's up to the task to do it. Hispanic Outreach Center. We, I think, have a personal responsibility given our demographics. Over 20% of our students are Hispanic, Latinx. And they just have different expectations and hopes and desires. Immigration, language barriers, and so forth, that other student groups don't have. I really think we need to step up our game in this area. In doing so, we're going to create a Hispanic Outreach Center that falls under Judy. Dr. Fuentes has agreed to take that on. We need a place, and there's folks that can tell, this is what I've noticed, that our Latinx students, mom and pa and grandma and so forth, play a bigger role in the decision making. And when a student comes on campus, they're usually in tow saying, how are you going to take care of my son or daughter, or grandchild? We need an extra effort to help them. And Fred has been asked to work with student affairs and enrollment management simultaneously. More information on that. Welcome Center. Michelle Bonds has created a new model, a new procedural model in the Welcome Center. Ask Me coaches and all those type of things and really shaking things up. I like everything I'm hearing. But I hate that building. Look at that building. Look at there's a buzz of stuff going on and people helping students, and the building's a snorer here, okay? So I've asked Vice President Livingston to help us work together to create a new Welcome Center, and this kills me that I'm doing this because it's the University of Houston, but create a new Welcome Center just to the west of the music building on our front porch. And let's bookend Garvin Lake with the library, with the nursing building and a building that looks special like this. And let's move our one-stop shop Welcome Center over here along with Marcom. Okay? I love it. Love it. Let's create an iconic view from the street. Okay? We are in the process now of developing relationships and creating academics, agricultural business education academies with community colleges. Lee Young has been doing a great job on this. Real quick, what an academy is, and I'll use Eastfield Community College as an example. because we're working to establish a business academy with them. What that is that students go to Eastfield for 2 years. But during that time, we have faculty that are embedded in Eastfield from our College of Business that are also offering a couple classes, freshman and sophomore year, to take their business required courses at Eastfield. They graduate from Eastfield, they have their core intact, they've already had several courses head start in their freshman and sophomore year, required classes in business. They're in good stead, good standing, they transfer immediately to commerce, okay, using the A&M engineering model. We're establishing similar types of academies with Cedar Valley and Trinity Valley and El Centro, an urban ag initiative. Dallas, I'm going to skip this first. I'm just going to say we're going to continue to look at increasing our footprint in Dallas. And how about if I leave it at that? We've been hit the pause button a little bit because of the pandemic, but we're continuing down that road. RELIS is going to continue to be a priority. Dr. Donham, thank you for all the work you've done there. Now the advent of a new BS in cybersecurity. I heard yesterday 18 students now enrolled over there. I think nothing but good things are going to come out of that, and I want you to know that the university is fully supportive and dedicated to make that successful. So thank you for your efforts there. As always, explore new innovative graduation programming, graduate education programming, and of course, always expand CBE. Constantly looking for opportunities. Okay, students, the freshman class coming in. Got some rock stars in the class, okay? Just talk a little bit about some of these folks. Miracle Ramon, okay, from Sulphur Springs, GPA, borderline good, 4.0. I'm just kidding you. Honors College, scholarship. All the accolades that she had, looking at undecided but pre-nursing concentration. Ashley Shipley from New Mexico, out-of-state student coming in, interested in kinesiology and sports studies. Over a 4.0 GPA, Honors College also. Sean Christoph King from Humble, Texas, football player, GPA 4.93. I don't even know what that means really, but okay. 4.93, Honors College, great athlete, top 10% of the class, major computer science. So no slough off there at all. Jesus Leon from Greenville, Texas, accounting, 4.0. Adriana Jones from Quinlan, Texas, GPA 3.3. Art show, interested in bilingual education. I want Dr. McLeod to take a special interest in this last bullet under accolades. It's almost like she's throwing it right in your face, Dr. McLeod, as a challenge. Future first-gen doctoral degree recipient. So keep an eye on her, and let's make sure we get her coming here. So a great class coming in for this coming fall. Yep, absolutely. Okay, so and once you know it, oh, here it is. This is where my thank you is. I cannot thank enough the staff and the faculty for how much you all have stepped up and made this university go during very uncertain times. The level of effort was just absolutely tremendous. And I received email after email from students. And I just picked one out. This is a long email. I don't want to read the whole thing. But this comes from a student, Lauren Combs. And it's talking about Dr. Tony Lee in education. I'll read the second paragraph here. And this is right in the throes of the pandemic in the spring semester, dated May 3rd of this year. Here's this excerpt. I feel like Dr. Lee represents and exhibits all the exceptional qualities and characteristics that a Texas A&M University Commerce Lion should be. He is truly making a difference with each student that he engages with. He genuinely cares about creating a positive and nurturing relationship with his students. He always provides great feedback and guidance on assignments. I felt like he was interested in my goals and future career plans after graduation and felt like he is invested in me and my future. When he found out that I was taking 18 credit hours, he applauded me, encouraged me, and made me feel like I could really succeed in completing these 18 hours. Without this encouragement, I feel like I wouldn't have had the inspiration I needed to push through this semester. I believe Dr. Tony Lee deserves recognition for his dedication, care, passion, positive attitude, support, positive influence, and for being an exceptional mentor. He is the kind of teacher that I aspire to be. What a tremendous letter. Again, Dr. Lee, thank you for everything you have done for this university. But again, I received so many of these letters that I could have taken Dr. Lee's name out and put any of your names in the letters. You know, a lot of schools are wringing their hands and gnashing their teeth. What's this going to hold? Oh my God, what are we going to do? Okay? For this coming semester. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But after everything I've seen for the last 6 months of our faculty and staff, I've never had so much confidence and so much trust that we are up for the task. Is it going to be tough? Yeah. Is it going to be difficult? Yep. But I refuse to believe we are not going to be able to do this. In fact, in the storied history of this university, I think this fall is going to be our finest hour as an institution. Because simply of our people. We've got work to do, folks. Thank you so much for your attention. I'm sorry I went a little bit long. This is about all I can give you right now. But a sincere, hearty, loving thank you for everything you've done for our university and our students. Have a great, healthy, and safe fall semester, and go Lions. Thank you.